You guys were back. Sean, Javon, Brian, all 52 podcasts. It was a interesting weekend in college sports, NFL, NBA, Media Day. We got a lot going on. What up, fellas?
Basketball season's on the way, which means another check is coming our way, Sean. Come on, right here. Right here.
Yes. Pound that. Yes. Kind of miss those extra amount of dollars. Those help a lot.
Man, that's a great side gig, buddy. I'm telling you.
Yes. NBA season starting. We got to talk about some of those Media Day things I saw, but we can get into that at some point. It's just kind of ridiculous. Some of these.
How you doing this morning?
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as they say. My sports fandom is soured, but other than that, we're doing great.
Yeah, I don't know how I felt about the Orioles in the season press conferences yesterday, to be honest with you. So
you shouldn't. That team was too talented to not make the postseason or not be out the race in July.
We've got them for later on in the show.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that. Yeah. We'll go into that.
What do we have to start the show, my good friend?
All right. So we got the Big Ten in the SEC hierarchy. So we're basically talking about how do we rank the Big Ten? How do we rank the SEC after a wild weekend? James Franklin did it again. He did it again.
My favorite day on the calendar.
James Franklin did it again. Let's start with them. Let's start with the Penn State-Ohio State game. No, Penn State-Oregon game. Excuse me.
My two favorite dates on the calendar. The day that Penn State is scheduled to lose to Ohio State again, and whatever that second top 25 matchup is for Penn State. Because I just know Happy Valley is going to be a depressed place. I mean, Penn State, I'll tell you why I don't like the program. James Franklin is who he is. He just ain't cut out for it. I can't dislike him for that. What I can dislike is the brass down there in State College, the athletic director, the president, the chancellor, because y'all have made it clear that y'all are fine with mediocrity. This guy does not beat anyone at any time at all. And somehow, some way, holds on to his job, gets extensions, gets talked about as the second coming of this in Penn State and the second coming of that. And the guy's lost his last 16 top 10 matchups. You don't care about being a contender. So what are you even spending all your money for? It is a waste. It is fiscally irresponsible for James Franklin to be at the helm. And the cats at Penn State deserve everything bad that happens to them. Yeah, my two favorite days on the calendar. When they play Ohio State, I especially love it when they get the Buckeyes at home because they the fan base does all this crying of, oh man, we've got to stop these big noon games. We've got robbed of a whiteout. No, you didn't, because you're going to lose to them anyway. You had the whiteout for this game. And you still lost. It doesn't matter. Oh, man. It's beautiful. So we know what the pecking order is in the Big Ten. It's Ohio State. It's Oregon. It's Michigan. And then it's Penn State. And I think after them, I'd probably go Nebraska 5th and Michigan State 6th. Because I like those two teams right now. But, I mean, we're wasting our time with the Nittany Lions. Every year. It's ridiculous. Now throw Maryland and Washington in after and USC. This conference realignment is ridiculous. All right, let me rephrase that. Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, Penn State, Nebraska, USC, Michigan State, Maryland. Maryland's Washington tied for 8th. And they play this weekend, so that'll be a tiebreaker. My fault. Get Illinois in. After Penn State for 6th. No, Indiana's got to go there. And then Illinois after them. Yeah. Oof.
Wait. You have Illinois. You have Nebraska above Illinois.
No,
Indiana.
Ohio State,
okay, let me see.
Oregon, Michigan, Penn
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yep.
Okay.
Illinois.
Okay.
That's the top 7. After that, Nebraska, USC, Michigan State, and then number 10 is going to be the winner of Maryland, Washington this weekend.
I can see that. I'm trying to look at Penn State's schedule for the rest of the year.
It's
Do we think
cupcake.
UCLA, Northwestern, Iowa, at Ohio State, then Indiana comes to their place, then they face Michigan State, then they face Nebraska, and then they end the season at Rutgers. So they could theoretically still make the playoff, but they got to win out, and I think people will be okay with them losing to Ohio State. But you can't. They got to beat Indiana in Penn State.
For some reason, we've gotten to a point in the world where 10-2 Penn State automatically qualifies for the playoff. I don't like it. I don't like this. You can get in after not beating anyone's stuff. Like the Ole Miss fan base and the Oregon fan base. Those two are pissed at me right now because I didn't have them as high in the rankings on my poll as the consensus poll this week. Ole Miss, you ain't that good for that win to bump you up to the top 5 in my book. It's just not. And there's actually a couple Ole Miss fans in that comment section that said the Rebels are at least, at the most, the 5th best team in the SEC right now. So I'm with Edmonds over there. Like, let's relax. Oregon, who have you played so far? Penn State never beats the top 10 team. So who have you played this so far? We've got to start making the resume matter. It's ridiculous to me.
But so you're saying that you don't value that win that Ole Miss had over LSU?
Not as much as to move them to top 5. No. But
definitely they're definitely in the hunt for a postseason.
What's LSU's best win, Sean?
Oh, it was Clemson.
And how's that going?
That hasn't aged well. Yeah. I can't say anything. It hasn't aged well. At the beginning of the year, yeah, that's a good point. But I still do think LSU is one of the best teams in the SECs. And I do think over the course of the year, unless LSU flops, which I don't see them having more than 2 losses, that win for Ole Miss will look way better at the end of the year than it does now. If you're based it on, because I think LSU defensively, and I still like Nussmeier as the best overall quarterback in the country. I still think that's a really talented team. But again, Brian Kelly might fold.
Anything can happen with Brian Kelly.
Yeah, he might fold. Like, we just got to go off his history. He has folded. His teams has folded. It hasn't looked good over there. Him and James Franklin, to me, are kind of in the same boat, even though Franklin's had way more years in Penn State to do what he's been doing. But yeah, I think the win for Ole Miss will look really, really good. And shout out to Lane Kiffin. That was probably one of his biggest, if not the biggest wins he's had since he's been at Ole Miss. And I know we'll probably talk about Alabama by next too, but I thought that was I like LSU probably more than you like LSU. I know that we don't have the wins, but I do really like this team. So shout out to Ole Miss for winning that game. And they're legit. Surprise to me.
I agree with Javon. It's just too early for that Ole Miss game to substantiate them as a power team. It's a noteworthy win, but LSU kind of middle of the pack in terms of their significance at this point. Now, I know you like them, you're high on them, Sean. I just don't see it yet.
So then how do we rank them? The SEC is kind of all over the place right now. How do we rank them? Like, so you have Ole Miss, Missouri's 5-0, Vanderbilt's 5-0, Oklahoma, the quarterback's out though, but they're 4-0. And then you have Texas A&M 4-0, Alabama 3-1, impressive win against Georgia, like Tennessee. Like, then how do we rank them? Like, it's all. Then you got Texas. Damn.
The good thing is it'll sort itself out, right?
But right now, who's the best right now off the 5 weeks? Who is the best?
I think for me, I feel like we kind of. I'm going Bama for right now. Because as we learned, Florida State was not a bad loss. The way they looked was rough.
No, I was about to say you lose that way.
The way they looked was rough.
Yeah.
but losing to Florida State itself actually is not bad. And who in the world saw Virginia beating Florida State? Who saw Tony Elliott keeping his job?
Big win.
And Brett Pryor just failing. You know something is wrong in the world when the Cavaliers are better than the Hokies. That just lets you know God ain't pleased what we got going on down here. I don't know. Anyways, I'd go Bama 1, Georgia 2. I still like Tennessee more than Ole Miss.
I was going to say, don't dismiss the Volunteers, man.
Yeah,
they're cooking.
I'd go Tennessee 3.
I like Tennessee.
Ole Miss 4, just out of some respect. A&M 5. Longhorn 6. They haven't beaten anyone. I don't like Arch Manning. And then Vanderbilt after them.
Yet to get into conference play.
So you got LSU all the way in the bottom now. Okay.
You know what? I'll put LSU before Texas. You're right. LSU goes before Texas on that list.
Right now, yeah, I put LSU over Texas. I really like LSU's defense, but it's a crapshoot. Tennessee's probably. I like Tennessee a lot. Missouri, Vanderbilt is whatever. South Carolina.
And then Mississippi State would go in right after Vanderbilt. I like that team in Starkville. I really, really do. That's a good program right now.
This is actually good because I don't think there's an actual favorite out of the SEC, clear-cut favorite right now. I think this is good.
No, not at the moment.
I think the Big Ten, I think the hierarchy is clear right now is Ohio State and Oregon the last couple of years. And then everybody underneath them. But I think right now in the SEC, I can't look and say this is the team to beat. Again, it's really early, and it's basically still going off what you like, a talent. This is not. That's why I'm not going to drop LSU to the bottom like that. But I do think that it's a crapshoot. I think this is good for college football. Great for college football.
And Missouri, I got to put Missouri in, probably in between Vanderbilt and Mississippi State. Yeah.
Oh, we forgot about Oklahoma. What about the Sooners? You have them?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
No, I think I said no, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
if Oklahoma if the quarterback was
healthy, third, they'd be third above Tennessee.
And if their quarterback didn't get hurt, I think I would put them over number 1 overall.
I'd put him number 1 if Mateer was still. Yeah.
I would put him. Yes, no
Is
question.
He out for
about
the year?
That. We don't know how long he's out. He's indefinite, just about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if he was playing, that would be my number 1 team so far in the SEC. But a lot to shake out in the SEC.
Can we? Yeah, I'm now on board with the Republicans. Let's get the legislation going in Washington to get these conferences back to 14-team leagues, no more than 14 teams. Everybody plays 9 conference games, and you are geographically aligned. You know, like I would love if Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri had to play Texas Tech this year. I really would, but whatever. And Texas A&M, I would love if the Big 12 were still the Big 12 right now. I really would.
Agreed.
Including Nebraska. Like, that'd be a real fun conference this year. And guess what? The SEC wouldn't miss them. It'd still be a good league. You know, like.
But we really want Congress to come and intervene for this. We got a lot more to worry on. I don't.
Sean,
it's
I used
crazy.
to say the same thing as you until I was on Capitol Hill for one of them hearings. They obviously don't care that they've got more important stuff to do. So guess what? Why in the world should I care?
Why should you care? I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one. If they don't care, then why should you care?
Why should I? Exactly. All right, fellas, we had our first tie of the NFL season because for some reason, overtime is 10 minutes instead of 15 in the NFL. And because Josh Allen is the league's golden boy for no reason at all, you just have to get a chance to touch the ball these days. Overtime isn't even overtime. So because of it, we had a 40-point tie in Jerry World. Fellas, I'll tell you my instant takeaway from this game. More proof that Micah Parsons ain't that guy. But I'll let you guys get into it before I dive into it.
Well, I watched that game. It was entertaining to watch if you're an offensive fan, which most fans are. Lots of points. The offenses look pretty stellar, but this game was billed, from start as the return of the Micah Parsons show, back to Big D, where he started, where he made his name, and he did not deliver. Now, you can credit Green Bay's coaching staff for scheming him out of the equation. And you can say Jordan Love shined tremendously, but equally so, Dak looked good. So, like I said, this was an offensive show. Uh, I'm not impressed by either team at this point. Now, Green Bay,
No.
Much like Baltimore, has come back to earth. On paper, we were crowning Micah and the boys as potential Super Bowl contenders. Nope, I can't say it. I don't think they I don't think they stack up against Detroit, quite frankly. I don't think they certainly don't stack up against the Eagles at this point. Good team, probably third of those three I just named. But I just don't see them being a surefire Super Bowl contender at this point. And as far as Dallas, there's lots of issues there. They just are void of talent. Void of talent. They really have no identity either offensively or defensively. I mean, there were some good plays done, but who do you fear when you think about the Dallas Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys historically have always been a team full of star power, hence the big star power and tremendous talent going back to the Staubach days. But who do you fear on this team now? At this point, I mean, is it Dak?
Dak's I gotta say this. Dak is putting up really good numbers to start the year. The offense.
He always does, Sean. Come on,
no,
man.
I'm not. Yeah, but I'm giving credit. I'm gonna give credit. He's putting up numbers. Like, the defense is horrible. It's the worst defense. It's worse than the Baltimore Ravens defense, because at least Baltimore has all this defense.
Mean something.
I'm not saying it does, but we can't criticize Jalen Hurts for putting up 100 and something yards and say he's a game manager, and we gotta give Dak credit. He's not a game manager. He actually puts up numbers.
We can point out that empty calorie stats are empty calorie stats. That's why we had James Harden ruining basketball for so long, because y'all didn't want to tell the truth about him.
That's fair. That's fair. But again, is Dak the reason this year? I'm not a big Dak guy, but I'm going to give him credit for this. I'm going to give him credit. That defense is the
Dak's
worst
not losing
defense
games.
in football. No, we know that's the worst defense in football.
Dak's not losing games. He's actually contributing handsomely to their victories. I will give you that. Particularly the way they kind of remained relevant in this game, because it at one point when Romeo Doubs scored, I think, his second or third touchdown, it didn't look as if Dallas was going to hang in there, but they give them credit. They managed to sustain in the game, and ultimately ending in a tie. So I will join your bandwagon here momentarily and say Dak is doing what he should be doing, and I think that's Javon's point. It's nothing to write home about. But he's certainly, he's ringing the bell. He's meeting the moment. And you can't fault him for the fact that the defense stinks.
He's on the upper tier of, all right, let's call a spade a spade. Dak, the guys who's getting paid a lot of money, like Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray. I would take Dak Prescott over all three of those guys right now. And they're making a lot of money.
You're the best of that group. Doesn't mean you ain't a part of that group.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying Dak's the top 10, but I'm talking about the same. I text you guys on Thursday night. The same pressure we're putting on Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray deserves to be in the conversation. So some other guys deserve to be in that conversation.
I'm sorry y'all on him, like I told you. I'm sorry y'all on Kyler.
That's fair. But people need to be. You're making a lot of money. You're taking up a lot of the cap. Dak's doing his part with it. If you're going to give him $65 million, he's upholding his part. Remember, CeeDee Lamb didn't play on Sunday.
Upholding his part would be taking a pay cut, because he don't deserve 65. So they can put about 30 million of that in the building. A defense. I mean,
you ain't taking a $30 million pay cut.
That
for
would
nothing.
really be his him doing his part. Huh.
No. See, I was impressed. George Pickens looks really good with the Cowboys. They got to figure out how to sign him.
You are spoiled by the Brady factor, because you can do that when you're Tom Brady and you've won championships. You're not taking a pay cut. Here's my thing,
though.
Yeah,
he won those championships because he was that selfless. That's called being a leader and a winner. if I can't hold you to that standard, like if you don't want to follow that blueprint, that's on you. I ain't got nothing to say to you. I don't get that. That's like when you're playing 2K and you got the dudes that try to ISO all day, and now you got to stick around to be in a close game the whole time when y'all could have been passing the ball and blowing them out. Oh, you want to play like the Spurs? They're 5 championships. Like I don't get that about the world.
So you expect everybody to take less money like Brady?
The leader of my franchise? Absolutely.
I don't think Jerry Jones is taking any pay.
Joe Burrow, if you didn't take all the money and you didn't make your team pay 2 receivers, one of which can't stay healthy, guess what? You probably have an offensive line and a defense to help your career out. But guess what? You hurt every year because you got nobody blocking for you. Because you told them you want them to draft your homeboy instead of Panay Sewell, who would have been exactly what you need. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I just don't believe in that because Jerry Jones ain't taking no discounts when that check is hitting. He's getting $500 million every year. I'm just saying, Jerry ain't taking no discounts. And we know Jerry ain't taking no discounts for nobody. Jerry's not taking no discounts. So that's just my thing. Jerry makes
his money from the Cowboys and puts it into Arkansas these days.
He does whatever he wants, but he makes that money. He doesn't take no discounts. They don't tell him, hey, take less money, put it into this or new facilities or new this, new that.
I think that's top-notch everything.
They are. I'm not saying that. Jerry's amazing.
Football related.
I get it, but why did all those years when Brady was taking discounts, Robert Kraft was not taking no discounts? I'm not taking no discounts. I can't lie.
And guess what? Brady started winning championships, which led to the on-field endorsements that made up plus some for the money he left on the table.
I get that.
Like that's the only way these guys get money.
But wait, get money
off the field.
My concept is this: a billionaire telling millionaires to take pay cuts. That don't make sense to me. Don't take less so you can help the team. That doesn't make sense. Tell me how that works in any other life.
Did I say I want the owner to go to him about it, or did I say I want the player himself to take the initiative to do it?
Okay, but he's doing it to help the franchise, who's owned by by a bunch of individuals, right? Sean, he's not doing it to help.
Sean, if you don't want to win, just say it, man. Just say it.
Listen, I think you could figure it out. Like drafting.
Are you going to win with Dak Prescott taking up that much of your salary cap? Yes or no?
How much does Jalen Hurts take up with the salary cap?
Yes or no, Sean?
No, but if you can't get the right pieces, no. No. We gotta give them credit for this. What did they decided, which I was against? We talked about when we all started the show. I would not have paid Michael Parsons all that money. Didn't I say that? And I like the Cowboys trade because I like them getting more draft picks and be able to spread the money and all over the place to get to a better team. It might not be this year, but it might be over the next couple years. I said that. It's just like the NBA. You keep telling me you can't pay everybody, so then you got to be selective. Yes, the Bengals probably shouldn't have paid T. Higgins and spread the money on somewhere else, but they didn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Dak Prescott.
Jalen Hurts shouldn't be at $50 million a year. He's getting 50 M's.
Not at all.
But the defense, Javi Roseman's drafted amazingly. So let's give credits for that too. But keep going. My bad.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to make the point that, I think the reason that Dak got paid ultimately is because it was the point at which they needed stability. You're coming off the Romo era, and rebuilding with a new young quarterback just didn't look like the horizon they were on at that point. When they signed Dak, they thought they were legitimate contenders, So when you look at it in that perspective, it made sense, right? You're sort of stopping the bleeding. You're solidifying what was already in place. Now, in the grand scheme of things, I agree with you, Javon, that that money could have been much better spent towards building. But were they foreseeing losing Micah Parsons at that point? No, certainly not. He wasn't unhappy at that point. We're talking a couple of years ago, so he was, still locked in, committed to the Cowboys.
I think front offices need to be held responsible. So you have to draft well. The Eagles draft well, even though their quarterback is making $50 million a year.
Hold on, Sean, because I just caught Unc up. Dak Prescott signed that extension last year, literally last September.
Mm-hmm.
Was the jury not out on Dak Prescott last September?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a bad contract. I don't want to hear anything about stability post Romo, boom, boom, boom. That's 8 years ago now. Coming up on 9. No, it's a bad deal. It was an awful deal for a guy who just does not show up in the big
had
game
not delivered.
and does not deliver in the playoffs whatsoever. And you knew you had holes on the rest of your roster. It was just a bad deal.
So, but my point is, if you don't sign him, lock him in, then what you're saying in essence is we're ready to rebuild again with a quarterback, and that's the point I'm making. They're further away not signing and locking in Dak Prescott than signing him. Signing him locks him in as quarterback, and it says let's build the rest of the team. But if you didn't sign that extension for Dak, you're saying not only do we not trust and believe in Dak, we've got to we're blowing up the whole thing, and
No,
that's
that's not what that means.
I don't
And I'm
believe
gonna tell you why.
that Jerry's ego would allow that.
I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't mean you're blowing up the team. The Cowboys' 2 greatest rivals outside of their division are the Packers and 49ers. We watched them for a few years build out their whole roster and let quarterback be the last thing they fill in. And guess what? The Niners were going to the Super Bowl doing that. And the Packers are still making the playoffs every year and beating the Cowboys every year. So that does not mean you're giving up. No, that says you ain't cutting it. So we're going to use this money to build the rest of the roster until we can draft the quarterback that will cut it for us. Simple and plain. And when
Now you're
Jordan
talking
Love's
about the
extension
difference
comes up,
between businessmen and football men. Dallas does not have football people in the
and
house,
that's the
in my
problem in
opinion.
that.
Yeah, I'll say it that way. I think you referenced the Eagles draft. Well, they've got football minds in the building. The Packers, football minds. Certainly the Niners with John Lynch at the helm, football minds. You can't say that about the Cowboys at this point.
No, I gotta be honest though. I think Dallas has done a really good job. At one point, 3, 4, 5 years ago, they had the best offensive line in football. There was no question about that. At some point, they drafted. Remember, they had Diggs. They drafted Parsons. They had Lawrence. They
In the
had
Romo years, in the early stages of that, they
had
had great rosters. They
yes,
had quarterbacks and head coaches that helped them back.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think it's I think Jerry and his team know how to draft. I trust them drafting. They have done a really good job. Not later. That's fine. That's fine. You're gonna have ebbs and flows.
Smith and Ocho Odigizua and stuff getting on.
But Harry Roseman had a period of time that he wasn't drafting well. Like you're gonna have ebbs and flows because the draft is a lottery. Like you're just gonna have ebbs and flows in it. But I think over time, Jerry has put talented teams out there. It's just the lack of coaching and his overbearingness of the team. I don't think it's a lack of the front office. It's just like, hey, I'm not mad about giving Dak the money if you're able to draft well. And they still have some talented guys. Isn't Bland and Diggs getting paid like top corners?
Them two stink.
Exactly. They stink. They picked the wrong guys. I don't think they're good cornerbacks, but they get paid like top corners. They have an offensive lineman, Smith, who's getting paid like a top guard. They got, you know what I'm saying? They got CeeDee Lamb, who's getting paid like a top receiver. Pickens, that was a good move. He's looking like he's about to get paid. So there's not a lack of so much. They're not the Giants. They have talent on that team. It's just they made a big risk this year. Not this year. Their defense is trash, really, really trash. But that's just 4 games.
I'll say it that way. I'll say developing.
And they got a hit.
Too nice for me, not garbage.
Their defense is worse than Baltimore's, and Baltimore's defense is trash. But you guys have an excuse.
Baltimore has personnel and no coach. The Cowboys have nothing defensively.
Yeah, their defense is trash.
I would just say I hope the Packers see Dallas as a cautionary tale. Do not pay Jordan Love when his time comes. Franchise tag him until you can find somebody in the draft. He's not that guy.
He played really good on Sunday. It wasn't his fault.
He's not that guy. No. If you go back and watch each of his dropbacks this season, and you go back and look at last year when they limped around at 9-8, he's too inconsistent for me. Way too inconsistent. I'm not on the Jordan Love train. Listen, I've been right about quarterbacks more than a few times on this podcast. I am willing to shut my mouth and wait for this one to be the next case of it. I'm not all that on Jordan Love. I'm just not. LaFleur does a great job of making him look better than he is. He ain't that guy.
Damn, we're starting to give all the coaches credits. Like Kevin O'Connor gets all the credit for what he does in Minnesota.
Yes.
Like, okay.
What's quarterback?
Huh?
Who are his quarterbacks? And
No, but
these coaches deserve credit because we have an issue football-wide right now at the Pop Warner, the high school, the college, and the NFL level of developing quarterbacks. So when there's the coach that's doing it the right way, he absolutely deserves the credit because quarterback development stinks right now.
Then we gotta give that credit to Sean McVay because those are all his seeds.
No, Matt Stafford did not need Sean McVay. Come on. Matt Stafford was great before Sean McVay.
No, but he had Jared Goff looking really good.
He gets credit for Jared Goff.
You got Jared Goff. And I think Matt Stafford has taken his game to another level, but whatever. We can have a conversation.
No, I think Matt Stafford.
You're opening up a whole new can of worms because I'm hearing two waves of thought. You know, we're in the era where everyone wants the Lamar Jackson-esque quarterback, super talented, raw talent, run, pass ability, but then winning looks like a Matthew Stafford or Jared Goff, kind of traditional pocket quarterbacks that, and Patrick Mahomes certainly falls in unique unicorn where he can really play both of those roles. So that's part of the problem. You know, it's like just kind of making the analogy, you know, at one point we were all looking for the traditional point guard, right? Serve everyone else, pass the ball to everyone else. Then we got into this era where point guards got dynamic going into the Allen Iverson Marbury era. Now your point guard can score 40 points a night. Which do you want? Which is it?
And the 40-point point guard has never won anything. You said
precisely my point.
Marbury,
so
Gilbert
do you want
Arenas,
the shiny
Damian
gold
Lillard.
object or do you want the winning object?
Yeah, no, I want the winning object each time.
I don't think you need point guards though in the NBA.
Here we go with
SEA. Look at the OKC. They just won the title. It was the most dominant team in the league. SEA is not a traditional point guard. Come on.
No, he's not traditional. Okay. But he is not Gilbert, Dame, Marbury.
No.
He still influences a culture of ball movement.
Yeah, I agree.
Steph, they influence a culture of ball movement. Do the Thunder and the Warriors not move the ball, Sean? Yes or no?
I see a lot of isolation basketball. I don't see no movement.
The Thunder move the basketball, Sean. It ain't just Shea and Jalen Williams isoing all game. Because I promise you, if that was the case, that is not a 60-win team.
My point is, you don't need a traditional point guard. They won a title without a traditional point guard. Like, because he led the league in scoring, or he was second in the league in scoring, whatever he was.
You don't need a traditional point guard, but you're not winning with a Gilbert Arenas, a Damian Lillard, a Stephon Marbury, a Steve Francis, or Allen Iverson. It's not happening.
No, you're not going to win like that. But I'm just saying, like, because you're always against like Luka or James Harden.
Yeah, Trae Young, Luka Harden. Luka and Harden ain't point guards, man. Iverson ain't a point guard. I'm stopping saying him. Those are shooting guards. That's the real problem with basketball. We got shooting guards playing the point guard right now. That's the real issue.
SGA, and he won a title playing that style of basketball. That he's
around him though. Caruso, a point guard around him. Case and Wallace around him, and Shea's more of a combo guard than anybody you just mentioned.
Yeah, but all right, whatever. My point is that you don't need traditional point guards in the league. That's all I'm saying. SGA is the MVP, and he plays the point on the best team in the league, one of the greatest teams of all time. Plays his clothes. I get what you're saying.
One of the greatest of all time.
So rounding that
back
to our point.
They had one of the greatest seasons of all time. They're top 10, top 15
back
seasons
to
of all
my
time.
point, you know, is it, you know, is everyone chasing that dynamic quarterback, or are you okay with a game manager like a Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts is winning Super Bowls.
Yeah, no, you get somebody who won't lose you the game. I think what Hurts is just he's very replaceable in film. Like you can get that guy and win with him, but don't sell him to us as one of the supermen of the league. Just don't.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts is like he's in the Eli Manning category to me. Like I just put him in that category. Like it's okay.
I mean, like the dude, yeah. I think Eli was more talented than Hurts, to be honest with you. I think Eli had more to do with his teams winning those 2 Super Bowls than Hurts had to do with his team winning the one.
We just got to say that he's been really good in the Super Bowls. Jalen Hurts has been like really,
he's been good in the Super Bowl game. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the totality of the run. Eli has been more important to the Giants than Hurts has been to the Eagles. And you know I can't.
So you want Jalen Hurts to have a Flacco playoff run where
if I
it
can
was
get one of those out of
undeniable.
Hurts, I'll shut up. You're absolutely right. If I can get a Flacco run out of Hurts, I'll be quiet. That's a great way to put it.
I just don't think that happens because I don't think they ask him to do that.
Not even that. I mean, dude just went 0 for 8 in the second half on Sunday. AJ Brown is heated again. What are we saying? Like this
that was crazy.
God. Like if Tampa and the Rams would stop just giving them the game, they'd be fine.
So you say those are 2 losses waiting to happen that were given away. Yeah.
Yeah, like Baker gave them that game Sunday. And special teams, I don't know. Rams see the Eagles again in January. Goodbye, Philly. And then AJ Brown's going to be out of town. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, I think the Rams beat them in the postseason. I like that Rams team a lot defensively too. Yeah.
So are we headed towards the Eagles-Bills Super Bowl? They are the last 2 undefeated teams.
I don't know. I think it's too early to show. And again, I think in the NFC is closer than people think. The Eagles are the best team right now. They're undefeated. They're the defending champs. But can I see them losing a postseason game? I can. I really do. I feel like you have to, like you said, they could have lost to the Bucks last week, and they could have lost to the Rams the week before. So I don't see that as this like a 2008 Patriots juggernaut who still lost in the Super Bowl. So if that team lost in the Super Bowl, anyone could lose in the Super Bowl. So I'm not really concerned about those are the 2 best teams, yes, right now, but it's such a long season from now. We're only a quarter of the way in. Yeah, I can't really see it. But shout out to what they've both been doing.
As we stand today, both teams have made a very strong case for ending up in the Super Bowl. I think the Bills have probably the lighter load comparatively because realistically we have pretty much cemented Baltimore and Kansas City as their major opposition. Maybe the Chargers, although they're a little wish-washy to me. Whereas I think the Eagles have a harder hill to climb because I just think there's something about that Detroit team that they're staying pretty consistent. They're weaponized. And then there are other teams in the North, the NFC North that could surprise you. So with that said, I'm not sure. I think, and I'd have to look at the schedules to see which one is more favorable. But then, you cannot count out the Chiefs. I mean, they dominated the Ravens in surprising fashion, and if they're getting their surprising that
What's so surprising about it?
Well, surprising that it was that bad for Baltimore. Not that Kansas City looked that good. You expected that. They got Worthy back. Kind of some of the pieces fell in place. I didn't think Baltimore would be that bad. I thought they'd be a little more competitive. I mean, it's virtually your modern day rival. What used to be the Patriots in the Ray Lewis era, it's now the Chiefs, and they didn't answer the bell. It's like they never came out of the corner for this boxing match. So that was surprising. But
can we start being honest about the Ravens? Because it's the whole city of Baltimore is making me itch right now. They are not the Ravens. I don't know who that team is. They are the Harbaughs. When do they ever respond to Kansas City? When did they ever respond to Buffalo? Lamar's like 3-10 against those teams. Just accept he's not that guy, and Flacco is the all-time best quarterback in that organization. Harbaugh's time is past. The defense stinks. I don't know what was so surprising about that game. Like, they had the Ravens as a 2.5-point favorite. I had the Chiefs as the easiest underdog all last week. I went 4-1 on my NFL picks last week. Because the Chargers want to lose to the Giants. Like, that's not surprising about that game. That's who that team is. And so I wouldn't even call that game surprising.
The only thing is they came into with the best offense in football, and you got shut down.
And they always get extinguished by Kansas City.
Then we got
first 3 Lamar was MVP. He couldn't score more than 10 points against the Chiefs in the conference title game.
Then let's start having a real conversation about Lamar Jackson, and this is what I mean.
Yeah, what his legacy is going to be. Nobody.
No, the thing is, it's like we can't say he's better than Josh or better than
he's not.
Or Pat. Then you can't say it because if you can't beat him, then you ain't better than him.
Last year when they lost in the playoffs to Buffalo, he can't say he's better than Allen.
No, but you kind of go on the hype about he's the MVP. He's the MVP. He's the MVP. No, at the end of the day, if you can't beat the guy,
player, it means you were most valuable to your team. He is the better talent than Josh Allen. He don't have the fear. He doesn't have the fear, so he's not the better quarterback.
He's the most talented quarterback I've seen. Maybe him and Rodgers or Mahomes, but those guys are the most talented. But again, we got to have a real conversation. You can't be. I don't think when you have the best offense in football, you could be coming into Kansas City. I know he didn't play after the third or something like that, and not score points. And that shows Kansas City's defense is the best defense in the AFC.
That's who Lamar Jackson is. That game I didn't even learn anything about Kansas City on Sunday because they always do that to Baltimore. This is not Ray and Ed and Suggs and Nada making Tom Brady lose sleep anymore. This is Marlon, the soft voiced podcaster, Roquan, Dr. Media Smith, and the daggone miracles out there. And they ain't nobody.
Yeah, I do agree with Brian though. That was a surprising, but I don't think it was going to be that bad. I thought it would be a close game.
Yeah, just because the way it started, that they were, and on offense, they've got all their weapons. You can say the defense is not good. We will give them a little bit of grace because they're missing Van Noy and
even
Bouquet
when they're
is out.
Healthy, that's not a good defense. Zach Orr's called the play.
Well, yeah. I mean, schematically, they've got a lot of issues. Defensively, they don't have that fear factor. The secondary is suspect. I could throw on that secondary. So I see your point there. But the offense, Henry was taken out of the equation early. I'm curious, and that goes back to John Harbaugh.
Organizational.
If your star running back fumbles the year and basically costs you a game, you make it a commitment to commit to him to get him back on his horse the next week. They did not do that.
And he dominated the first drive. Easy.
Absolutely.
Baltimore moved down the field easy.
And you sprinkled in some Justice Hill, which was surprising. And then you went to Justice Hill way too much at that point. And it's like, what are we saying? So
that's Harbaugh's boy. Keaton Mitchell can't get any burn because of Justice Hill. Anyway, that being said, when it comes to the Bills, they do not have to worry about the Ravens. They don't have to worry about the Bengals. The team they have to worry about is the Kansas City Chiefs. And until they can beat them, I don't want to hear it. So, no, we're not getting the Eagles-Bills Super Bowl. Kansas City's going to go back. Mahomes is probably going to put together an MVP campaign this season.
Wow.
And if the Eagles run into the Rams, they're not going to see the Eagles because the Rams are getting them in January. They are getting Philly. So, no, we're not getting that Super Bowl. No, it's not happening.
Yeah, because out of all the teams in the AFC, Kansas City has the best defense. And then they're going to start getting healthier. The weapons, I would actually say it's right there between this question should be the Eagles, Bills, or Chiefs. Those are the three best teams in football, even though the Chiefs are 2-2. That defense is legit one of the best in the league. And then when you have Mahomes and his play build, making him build to, that team, yeah. Damn, another Chiefs in the Super Bowl. This is gonna be crazy. We get another Chiefs Super Bowl.
Give him that credit.
Chiefs, I got him credit, but
talent is A level, and the coaching is A+. I mean, when you put that together, you're gonna win. I mean, historically, you look at any sport, that's the ingredient. A+ talent, and A+ coaching.
Yeah.
If it goes the other way, yeah, maybe, right? It's kind of a 50-50.
Only way I think
the Heat, right? So when Miami was great, when LeBron and Wade and the boys, they're A+ talent, the coaching was A level, right?
We ain't blaming Eric Spoelstra for that team. Oh no, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, that was more mental. We ain't doing that. Yeah, Spoelstra one of the greatest coaches of all time. Look what he's done without those guys.
Well, no, that's my point. He was good, but he was early in his career at that point. So how much of it was him? I mean, he was doing enough to keep them doing what they did best. But what I'm saying is he was not he wasn't taking them over the top. Reid is taking the Chiefs
Time
to
out.
their Super
Hold
Bowls.
on. We're going to blame Spoelstra for LeBron's collapse against the Mavericks? We're going to blame him for that? We're going to blame Spoelstra for D-Wade's knees going bad that last series against the Spurs and LeBron just quitting on the team? We're going to blame Spoelstra for that?
I didn't blame him. I'm saying he didn't take him over the top.
No. They should have won 3 out of 4 titles. I'll give them the last title because they were kind of older in 4 straight finals, but they should have won 3 out of 4 titles.
His fault LeBron turns every power forward he plays with into a shooting guard. What are we saying? That ain't. Eric Spoelstra slander will not be tolerated here. No.
I actually, I never heard that perspective. That was very interesting perspective, Brian. But I never heard anyone say, "Hey, it was Spoelstra who didn't." No, I think everybody could look at it and be like, they should have won the first one against Dallas. If LeBron, that was the greatest choke job we ever seen.
That was a collapse. Yes,
that was the greatest collapse I've ever seen in the NBA. I can't think of all sports, but in the NBA, the worst playoffs final series I've seen from a superstar, the face of the league, quote unquote. And then the last title, Wade was shy, 4 straight finals. The Spurs were better all year anyways. So they should have won 3 out of 4.
Spurs were the better team the year before. Pop just wanted to take Tim Duncan out on them free throws for what reason? Who knows?
But good perspective. I never thought about that because I also look at Spo as one of the guys. I think he's the best coach in the league right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's even close. That Miami team, they should be playing for number 1 picks every year. The talent on that team sometimes.
Well, he makes up. His coaching makes up for their void of dominant talent.
Yes. They don't have dominant talent. Very interesting.
All right. East Rutherford. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Jackson Dart comes in, and then Malik Neighbors tears his ACL. I don't know who did what in New York for those football teams that have such bad karma, but I don't know. Pay your tithes to Reverend Steedley or something. Maybe that'll help. Who knows? Fellas, I wasn't blown away by Dart, but the team seems energized with him. Cam Scatterbull, I like that guy.
It looks good.
I really don't know how to feel about that game. I really don't.
Well, go ahead, Brian. You go first.
Well, short and sweet. I like Jackson Dart's moxie. I think he brings some much needed passion to that team. He will probably give them identity moving forward, which is a big thing. Russell Wilson, I just don't think his heart was in it anymore. I think he was going out there going through the motions. I think he was also resting on his Super Bowl pedigree. And I think Jackson Dart comes in hungry, poised to show the world, the team, hey, I'm here and I'm gonna be here. Let's circle the wagons around me. Let me lead and I'll deliver. Tough break, literally, for Neighbors to go down. That puts them at a tremendous disadvantage, in my opinion, offensively. But they weren't going to be much better than lower third of the league anyway. So the unfortunate thing is I think they've got some studs on defense that they can build around. And if they could ever get the offense to at least get on par, they could be a contender.
Yeah, that defensive line was dominant against Justin Herbert on Sunday. That defensive line is special. If they can play, like you said, consistently, that rotation of defensive linemen is crazy. But I would have to say this. I said this on the podcast. I was like, hey, last week, this game is going to show me a lot about the Chargers and where I rank them in the AFC, because this is the type of game in the past they have lost. They'll go start off games they should win. If you're a championship team, no disrespect, I actually agree with you. Jackson Dart, he needs to play. He does have like the swag to him, something like that they need. And he fits where Dable had with Josh Allen in the sense of how his size, things of that nature. So I want to see him for a whole season. And Dable and them know, hey, he has to pan out, or we have to show that it's a level of progress for him to show I should deserve to keep my job. And so same for the GM. But I just think the Chargers, and I'm a big Harbaugh guy, it's like is this mental. It's like the Clippers organization. It's some funk over that organization. I'm like, you're here with the talent. You just could take another leap. And games like that show me, yeah, you're not in Kansas City's level. You're not in Buffalo's level. You're in the middle tier of the AFC, just bunched up. And it's like you with the Houstons and Jacksonville's and Baltimore right now, like the middle pack of teams. Like you could maybe make a surprise, but I thought that was a statement. I thought Herbert was off to a great start. I'm like, all right, this can put you in the MVP conversation, keep it going. And they just, I don't know what to go on with that team.
Yep.
Yeah, it's something wrong with that team. But that's why I took for that game.
With them, pass rush killed them. I mean, they played a super talented front line with a banged up O line, right? So I think we saw the weakness of the Chargers this season, which is going to be you got talent up front, blitz, right? I think other than that, the Chargers played a good game. I don't like that defense. Granted, Khalil Mack was out, giving up 21 to the Giants. Like, I think health had a lot to do with that game for the Chargers, but at the same time, a playoff team is supposed to overcome that against the Giants and a rookie quarterback. Now we're saying this pedigree stuff with Jackson Dart. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but let's not forget, this is the guy who played for Lane Kiffin. What quarterbacks from Ole Miss do good in the NFL? Because they don't run a system at all. It's the same reason why teams don't draft wide receivers from Tennessee, because they don't run a route tree. They just go out there and do whatever the defensive back is allowing them to do. So, like, I'm not going to get on this whole Jackson Dart train and he's got swag, a boom, boom, boom. I'm so tired of frat boy swag. I don't care. I really don't. Like, whatever.
No. But it matters for an organization, a team like this, for example. Russell Wilson, a lot of people look at him as like a lame kind of guy, right? I really do. And
You've been in Atlanta for a while, Sean.
It's true. They do. They look at him like as a lame. Even his old teammates, you hear how they talk about him on podcasts and stuff like that. Marshawn Lynch, Michael Robinson, Richard Sherman. He's not the guy that is going to galvanize you and be like, yo, I want to follow this guy. Jackson Dart has something about him. I'm not saying he's going to be the next top 10 quarterback, but at this point, Russell Wilson, the production don't match. If that lack of leadership, or people are like, yo, this guy's a lame, I'm not going to follow him. Like, if you're playing good football, we're okay with that. But if you're not, we're like, oh man, this guy's kind of, just not a guy you want to follow. So I think it matters for that organization right now that's in flux a little bit. They need someone who at least like, yo, I'm gonna go and ride for my quarterback.
So
I don't see that.
No, there's absolutely something to be said for that.
What you're saying it's better to be blind following the blind than not following anyone at all.
Damn, you don't like Jackson Dart that much?
Why am I going to put my faith in an Ole Miss quarterback that plays for the organization known as the New York Giants that just lost his best receiver? I'm not like, come on, man. Show me something. Can we get back to that? Can we get back to actually showing me something?
Well,
hold on, Sean. Did we not agree last year that Ole Miss should have been a national championship contender?
I had them in the playoffs.
And they fell far, far, far short of those expectations. And a lot of that had to do with Jackson Dart. And a lot of what had to do with Jackson Dart had to do with what Lane Kiffin does when it comes to quarterbacks. And now he's in New York with another guy that's looking like Mr. Overrated and Brian Daboll right now. So I'm not understanding the super hype. Like,
let's see.
Still going to go 5-12, 6-11. Like, what are we? I'm not understanding. It's going to be the same record they want to have with Rush.
So we're not asking the Giants to be a juggernaut. We're asking him to be.
No, but I'm saying even in the future too, like y'all
that.
are saying, even in the future too, it's like they're going to be looking for a quarterback again.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. After one game, because then if we have that same energy, we have to have that same energy for Cam Ward in Tennessee.
No, I'm saying
he looks horrible.
No, I'm going simply off my evaluations of the quarterback coming out of college.
No, but we got to evaluate the first 4 weeks. Cam Ward has looked horrible in Tennessee. Like, I call it spade a spade. I love Cam.
Ward gets somebody not named.
Come on.
It's his head coach. I'll have a conversation for you.
All right, but we can't.
Sean. Go on Tennessee Titans Twitter and just go read the ungodly things they have to say about Brian Callahan.
He's
Tell
gonna
you
get
all you
fired.
need to know. A
He's gonna get
quarterback
fired.
needs a coach too, Sean. If you can't see Cam Ward in that pocket making some great throws, I don't know what to tell you. Cam Ward ain't the problem in Tennessee.
But we're going off of production, what we see. He hasn't looked
Everything
good.
he got drafted for, physically, he has been able to do. Schematically, go look at the route combinations you see in Tennessee. Go look at how they don't have a running back right now in Tennessee. Go look at how bad the coaching staff is in Tennessee.
I love Cam. Cam is going to be a good
The
quarterback.
Titans need to lose this year.
But with what I'm saying with young quarterbacks, I think we rush because we want everybody to be CJ Stroud, who has taken a step back, Jaden Daniels, right? We want them to come out and be gangbusters after the first week.
I'm not saying that with Dart. I'm not saying anything about how he's played in the NFL, Sean. I'm not saying anything about how he's played in the NFL. He is a rookie. That was his first game. I'm talking about who he was in college. My evaluation of him on the draft board coming out of Ole Miss said, I am not a fan of what this guy is going to be, and I am sticking to that for the moment. That's all.
That's for the moment, right? But what we're saying is, hey, he needs to be the quarterback. First of all, Dabo's a better quarterback than Callahan. We can all agree to that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because he got Daniel Jones, who's having a good year too, to play quarterback for at least 1 year, and he was the one who developed Josh Allen. Because I wasn't high on Josh Allen coming out of that thing. So what I'm saying is, let the kid play, and then we can have an evaluation. I'm okay with the ups and downs. Like 1 week, JJ McCarthy was really special. The next week, you were like, yo, JJ was horrible against Atlanta. I'm okay with the ups and downs of the quarterbacks at a young age. I think when people put this too much pressure, it's like, hey, you haven't done this, you haven't done this, you haven't done this. No, let's see. Let me give him the benefit of the doubt. And he deserves it because you could tell the team's more energized when he's around. That's it.
For the sake of the locker room, Dart needs to play. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying it's not going to lead to success.
No, that team will go 5-11. Yeah. They're not going to the playoffs. They're not. He's not going to come and beat Jaden Daniels. I'm 100% confident saying that. But if you can show some promise, why not? They need something in New York. They haven't had that in a long time. All right, so Sandy Bondello was fired after leading the Liberty to the WNBA championship last year. The GM came out and basically said, we want to get ahead of the curve. We don't want to stay behind the curve, which is a very interesting comment. So we'll talk about that in a second. Javon, what was your thoughts about this?
That's the first time I've heard that comment.
Yeah, that's what he said.
We live in a world where dumb people try to sound smart, and it makes them look even more dumb. Ahead of the curve. In what world is that ahead of the curve? I don't know. Come on. This is the Cowboys firing Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, go ahead. I wish I had not heard that quote. I was doing just fine in life before I heard that.
Yeah.
Ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and I think what the article was saying too is like how Becky Hammon came from the NBA, the Phoenix Mercury head coach. My apologies, I don't remember his name, but he came from the NBA. So maybe that's what we were talking about. Like, hey, getting ahead of the curve because where the WNBA is going. I just think they had injuries and they seem a little complacent being champions. Sometimes you need to get punched in the mouth again and be like, hey, this is reality. That championship was a year ago.
Yeah, let's talk about the front office. Who did they add to the team? Everyone knows in basketball, not in sports in general, when you're trying to repeat, that is the hardest thing to do because everyone's gunning for you. So what do you have to do? You have to add somebody to your roster that's hungry so their hunger can spread to a complacent team. Kenny Smith says it all the time. Clyde Drexler himself ain't the reason they won the second championship. Clyde being hungry for a ring is what won them that second championship. Because when you win, you got guys that's 9 through 12 in the rotation thinking they done did something. No, you need somebody that's still hungry to weed that out. The Liberty did not add that. And like Sean said, injuries. You fire her 1 year after winning the championship? If that franchise never wins anything again, they'll deserve it. I hope they turn into the Knicks. I'm praying for it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, curious operations at the top. Anytime there's a Clyde Drexler reference in our show, I'm excited because he's my favorite player. But Brondelli has 2 championships actually. So that wasn't just a flash in the pan. She's not Sean Payton, shots fired. We're looking at someone with substantial winning pedigree, from her playing days as well as her coaching time. So I really don't understand this one at all. Gives a bad message, lets the players off the hook tremendously. And I kind of agree with Javon. I don't see a future where they turn the ship around anytime soon. I think, enjoy this one championship in New York, because it may be a long time for you to get back.
The WNBA is in a crisis because of the whole CBA, and basically the whole league is going to be free agents. All the best players have some 1-year deals, things of that nature. So I think for the whole league, it could be we could be seeing a whole change of the guard. This player teaming up with this player. So not just the Liberty, the whole league. When I was reading that article, I was like, oh, this is going to be very interesting to see how the league, first of all, comes up with a CBA, because I think the girls think they're worth more than, if you have a turn of profit, I don't know how much more money we've been giving you, but I think it's going to be very interesting.
Can we stop acting like we hate women's sports for bringing that up? I can't.
No, you gotta be real.
Discourse on social media. No, business-wise, you have yet to turn a profit in any season in the history of your league. You get subsidized by NBA funding. What am I supposed to give you? You saying you want more money? No, you want a bigger split of the revenue share. You want a bigger split of the basketball-related income that the league generates. You don't want more money, though, because you don't generate more money. You want a higher percentage of the basketball-related income. That's what you want. We got to make that crystal clear.
100%. Because if we're in a business and then all of us getting a salary, and then one of us like, hey, I want more money, but the business has to turn a profit, we're going to have to look at each other like, there's no money to be given out more. There's nothing else.
You got to start looking to private equity to sell your business at that point.
Right.
At that point, you have to do that.
That needs to be where the WNBA heads. While these NBA franchises are slow to follow Ted Leonsis and Mark Cuban's lead, no, the WNBA as a league, forget just franchises, the league general needs to look towards private equity.
I could 1,000%.
Everyone else is selling their soul to the Saudis right now. The W needs to be next in line.
1,000%. And one last thing, I do not like the commissioner at all in the WNBA.
At all.
How do you how do you suspend the Lynx coach? I know she was wilding, but for Game 4,
in the
that
playoffs,
in the
game where they had to miss Nafisa Collier the injury too.
It was just a game. That's one of those things that you find her heavily. Yes, passion of the moment. And you find her heavily because she was out of line. I agree, but you don't suspend her. Come on, man. That was
matter of fact, she wasn't out of line. But these referees, man. Referees are the worst professionals in the world. You know how? No, hell no. Abolish getting rid of fines for talking about referees, because that is the most worthless job in the world, because you can't find a good referee in the world. I'm with Rasheed Wallace on this. I hate referees because they are so bad at their job and never want to be held accountable for their job. No, there should never be any punishment for getting up at a press conference and saying what needs to be said to a referee. To be quite frank with you, there's a few referees in this world that need their asses whooped because they got the nerve to be bad and then want to talk bad with you because they know they're protected by whatever organization they work for. I hate referees. Free Cheryl Reid. Free her.
Yeah, that was a tough way for the Lynx to lose. That team was the best team all year. Tough way for them to lose. But shout out to Phoenix. They played really good basketball this year, so they deserve to be.
Do they beat the Aces? Do the Aces beat Fever?
Yes. Yeah,
they did last night, right?
No, they played tonight, I believe, or Thursday. Yeah.
For
next game is Game 4, right?
Game 4.
Yeah, it's 2-1, right?
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that. I thought the series was over.
No, they played tonight. Game 5, Aces and Fever.
Oh, game 5?
Yeah. So this is the series tonight.
Yeah.
9:30 on ESPN2. I know baseball is going on. That's another thing. Why is the W beholden to ESPN. Like, if you've got somewhat of a partnership with CBS, the W's got to just stop. We live in a world where we hear so much women don't need men this, and we're going to be different from the men, especially in the W. We're going to be different from the men. Be different from the men. You should not have your playoffs on ESPN because your playoffs always coincide with the baseball playoffs, and ESPN chooses the wild card for baseball over the W all the time. Hell, ESPN chooses their Friday night college football over W playoffs every year. I remember one year when Temple was awful. It was one of our 3 and 9 years, and Luke Fickell had Cincinnati rolling. Everyone knew it's going to be a whooping. You tell me what was on ESPN and what was on ESPN2.
College football.
College football was on ESPN, and Game 5 of a WNBA playoff series that featured Diana Taurasi was on ESPN2. Give your money to CBS and let CBS carry your playoffs. What are you doing? Kathy Engelbert is such like she halts progress.
Yeah,
that's a bad commission. The W needs its David Stern.
Yeah.
Simple and plain.
Simple. Yeah, simple. I don't like her at all. I think she's horrible. And again, not letting the franchise go to Boston is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But you want your franchise in Cleveland or Portland over Boston, Massachusetts for a sports fan base, a city? Does that make sense?
Connecticut besides the Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort. What?
Yeah. I lived in Boston. I always drove to New York, and we used to always say that 2 hours driving through Connecticut was pointless. Connecticut shouldn't exist. Like that's what we used to say. That's my sister. We were like, "Yo, we didn't used to say that all the time." So it does not make sense. Shout out to UConn, great school, but that's it. That's all that's in Connecticut.
Yeah, and that's stores. That's so much further away than the city.
Yeah, like doesn't make sense. That team should be in Boston. The Sun should move to Boston today. If they could, but she's an idiot.
I'll show a little bit of love to hold on, let's see. Yeah, because everything in Connecticut that you think of is isolated. Like I think Stamford, Connecticut is where they used to do the Jerry Springer show and the Steve Wilkos show. All they had were the TV studios. Or was it one of them? Stores in Connecticut, just UConn, Bristol, ESPN headquarters. Yeah, WWE's in Stamford. Yeah, in Springer and Wilkos are in New Haven. All that stuff is just itself isolated. And nothing else around it.
And the only if you think about it, the only reason those organizations Connecticut is because New York and Massachusetts is too expensive. So
they don't want the taxes in New York.
They don't want the taxes. Exactly. So that's why they hit
these state taxes up here. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, the taxes are crazy in New York. Crazy.
All right. Over in college football, Sam Pittman and Mike Gundy fired. Word on the street is staying at SMU is a better option for Rhett Lashley than going to either one of those two schools.
I would say.
Which is rough. I don't know where these programs go from here. Apparently, Jerry Jones is all in on emptying his pockets to get Rhett Lashley to Fayetteville. So we'll see. That's going to be a battle with the boosters. Jerry and the Tyson Nuggets people against all the money in Dallas. We'll see. And I'm really curious about where Oklahoma State goes from here because how competitive of a job is that right now? Like how much money is getting poured into the football program over there? And that's another thing. We should never be questioning that about Oklahoma State because it's not like their basketball team has ever been anything. Like all of their money should be going towards football. So I don't know where these two programs go from.
Yeah, I think the most interesting job, to be honest with you, if I had to pick one, it would be Arkansas. Because if you, like you said, the Tyson family, Jerry Jones, and in this NIL world, you need to be able to compete, and those are two of the biggest boosters you can have. And Jerry Jones is probably, in football terms, probably the most influential guy in sports. I'll give him credit for that. He's influential, so I'll give him credit. So yeah, I that's the number one job I would want to take if I'm getting. Hey, I'm getting $10, $15 million every year to build my program out, things of that nature. Oklahoma State, like we talked about before, they have Boone Pickens, but they don't seem like they have anyone else. And who knows if he's still actively involved. I'm not sure. So, but I think it was time for both of these guys to get fired. I'm never advocate of people getting fired because they're losing lives, their livelihood, all sorts of stuff like that. But I think it was just time. I think Pittman's definitely underachieved in Arkansas. You had 6 seasons. Damn, Bobby Petrino seems like they should just let him stay there forever. He's always coming back as the coach there. It's crazy. Like, just let him stay. Like, he's always going to be that coach.
He's like Chucky.
Yeah, he's popping up. I'm like, Bobby Petrino, he's back again. Yeah, that's the most attractive job out of the two. Oklahoma State, I agree with you. I don't know if it's that attractive at this moment.
Bobby just need to stay away from the women when they had that motorcycle crash.
Yeah, because at the time he was like the Sean McVay of college football in sense of offense and innovation. Yeah, it was he messed up. He messed up over there. But Brian, you got anything?
No, not really. You guys said it all as far as that concerns. I agree with you, Arkansas. I've heard rumors that SMU's coach is kind of the front runner for that position. So we'll see how strong they pursue him.
I'll be honest with you. This whole getting Jeff Levy from UTSA thing, maybe that works for Oklahoma State. I think if you're Arkansas, you have to be geared towards becoming one of the top programs in the SEC. Like, because you've got the money to do it, and you just started investing in basketball, I think you've got to go all the way. Like, Missouri's investing in both right now, and that's your battle line rivalry right now. Missouri's investing in both right now. Texas A&M is invested in both. Florida's invested in both. Bama's invested in both. Auburn's invested in both. I think you just have to join those ranks. So I think with them, it's go poach whoever you can. If it's Lashley, go get him. If it's Clark Lee from Vanderbilt, go get him. Everyone loves Alex Golesh at South Florida right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you trust him, if that's your cup of tea, go get him. Hell, Fran and Matt Rule turned Baylor into something. That would be a phone call I make if I'm Arkansas. If that guy can recruit anywhere, he's got actually a real good standing with the Texas high school coaches.
Tell me, Matt Rule?
No, Fran Brown.
Fran Brown. Okay.
I'd give Fran a call if I'm Arkansas, but they have to spare no expense at going and getting who they want. Sean, we talk about Marcus Freeman all the time. Pony up your money and say, hey, you know what? We're going to spend to make this a better gig than the restrictions you have at Notre Dame. Like, I'm ready to see that type of thinking from Arkansas. What you just did to get Calipari, I want you to do the same thing to get your next football coach.
Yeah, you got to go big name hunted. The only thing is, back to the SMU coach. Now I think about it, I'm in Texas. I'm in the ACC over the SEC, and that money's kind of the same. I'm staying at SMU.
That TV deal money is going to be, it's real different. I think there's about a $20 to $30 million difference between what ESPN pays the SEC and the ABC. Me and the ACC, excuse me.
Yeah, good point. Great point. Yeah, that's true. But that money is spread throughout all the teams. It's not just
the SEC gets I think their teams get $68 million a year.
Oh,
and
each
the
team?
SEC and the Big Ten, their schools get a good chunk of change annually from the TV partnerships.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I didn't know that. So yeah, that changes stuff too. But he's in a good position because either way, he's going to be in a position that they're going to spend money, and that's the name of the game, to be consistent in this college football, basketball environment.
All right, fellas, we're starting to get to the breeze through portion of the pod. Every Power 4 conference is at 9 conference games now. After the ACC approved it, problem is the ACC's got 17 teams, so one team per year has to play 8 conference games. But that team is being mandated to play 2 Power 4 opponents in the non-conference, and everyone else is getting 1. Good for the playoff, yes or no?
Yeah, I guess because everybody's playing each other, but that's tough for that team once a year to have to face two non-conference Power 4 schools.
Why is that? That's what they should be playing in the first place. Like, and if you're Clemson, you already do it playing South Carolina and Georgia every year.
But don't you think it puts them at a disadvantage for that 1 year? Because you might, when it comes down to the playoffs.
No, because I'm sick of us having playoff teams with no resume in the first place.
So you think it brings more credence to their schedule, strength of schedule?
Yeah, I don't like how the Big Ten doesn't have the requirement. The Big Ten has it at just non-conference games, and that's it. Like, no, Indiana needs to play somebody. You know what I'm sick of that. No, so I like the ACC with that mandate. We're going to make you play another power team, man.
The only thing is, it's like everybody's that strength of schedule only matters if you're winning the games. Like if you're losing games against all the ranked opponents and things of that nature, what is the strength of schedule? Yeah, it don't matter. So yeah, but we'll see. If it gets close,
matter. Let's do that. It should matter. Because somehow we still get the Penn States and the Indianas in the playoff.
Yeah, like Penn State, if they lose out and they don't beat Indiana or Ohio State, they shouldn't make the playoff.
Look at that non-conference Nevada. And who? Like, come on, man. That's nasty business. Nasty business.
Yeah, that's I can't co-sign that at all.
Any last words on this one?
No. Good there.
So we got a JJ Redick contract extension with the Lakers after 150-win season.
Way too soon. Way too soon.
That's the next Pat Riley, guys. You guys didn't hear that? You guys didn't hear that online? He's the next Pat Riley.
I think JJ is going to be a great coach in this league. I think post LeBron era, he'll get the opportunity.
Not playing the same 6 guys in the second half of a playoff game.
No, I think he'll figure it out. You know, we got to give him some grace. He's very early in his coaching pedigree. We know the analysts.
He know it all. No, that's the smartest basketball player to ever live, right? Can't nobody tell me nothing. Y'all don't know. Nobody
he will sell you that way. I loved him as an analyst first and foremost.
Oh, I hate him.
I loved him too.
I think he brought a lot. He brought a lot to the table. You know, I put him in the same category as Tim Legler. You know, they really understand the game. They look at the game uniquely. Does it translate into coaching? Jury's out. But I think in due time, you will see that he'll put the right coaching staff around him. He'll bring in his mold of players, and it'll look different. But right now he is, and I'm not making this comparison in any way, but he's kind of John Harbaugh, who was holding on to Ray Lewis and those guys and just gleaning from that. So that's what he's doing right now. But the jury will be out. The jury's out, and time will tell. Once if LeBron is equivalent to Ray in this analogy, when those guys are out of their picture, you've got to show who you are. And I think he'll do it better than Harbaugh.
I love you to pieces. I love you to pieces. You ain't ever going to disrespect Ray Lewis like that on my watch ever again. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. Yeah, nah. Let's nip that right there. Never in life do you put those two in the same sentence again. Nah.
Why are you not comfortable with comparing Ray Lewis to LeBron James? Two marquee players, Hall of Fame worthy.
If LeBron James had a quarter of the heart that Ray Lewis had.
Well, we aren't talking.
Come on, man. Nah. I can't go for that. That ain't I can't roll with you on that. No. And my thing with JJ, we heard all this movement and system and sex. Yeah, that lasted for 25 games, Sean? And then went right back to high pick and roll, staying around stationary offense. That guy's such a fraud. Man, no. Just no.
I gotta say this. I do think this.
He did all that talking about Doc Rivers just to wind up coaching just like Doc Rivers.
Even though I did think some of his defensive schemes were different, because that team was not talented defensively and they won a lot. On some helicopters over my thing. But I did think defensively and his intensity was good for the Lakers. The only thing I have to say about the extension is this: when Darvin Ham took the Lakers to the Western Conference Final, was it in his first year? I can't remember, his first or second year.
Yep.
He didn't get no extension. He already had a 4-year deal. Why are you adding an extra 2 to 3 years to the deal? I didn't like that. I'm like, the optics on a rookie coach getting an extension.
It tells you how poorly run the Lakers organization.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. It doesn't
Boston
make sense.
Never makes that deal.
Yeah, I like him. I'm with I loved him as a podcaster in his podcast, and I love him as a coach because I do think the intensity, but I don't think he should get an extension after 1 year and being eliminated in the first round with a 50-win team. Again, defensively, when you have Luka, old LeBron James, I'm around the same age, older LeBron James. I don't like that word.
No, in basketball terms, that's the dinosaur. No,
okay, all right. Yeah. And then you have Austin Reeves. You should be one of the worst defensive teams, and you had no center, one of the worst defensive teams in the league. And at some point, they were playing like second half, like top 5 defense in the league. They shut out Jokic in one of those prime time games, and everybody was copying the defensive strategy. OKC copied that defensive strategy in the Western Conference Finals. I give him credit. I think he's a really good coach. I just want to have given him an extension right away. But I do think he's going to be the Lakers coach for a while. So it is what it is.
My sports life is just unfair right now. ABS challenges have finally been approved for Major League Baseball. What took so long, who knows? But I guess for Rob Manfred, it's better late than never.
Yeah, we needed it. We needed it, and we need it for this postseason. So yes. I don't know why they did not implement it for the postseason. Like, why wait all next season? Hopefully, the postseason is dealt fair and there's not any controversial calls, or whatever. But I'm excited. Baseball needs to. Again, we give credit. Me and you give criticism, Javon, to Rob Manfred, but some of the changes they have done in the last 2-3 years has made baseball.
He has
better.
Significantly improved as a commissioner.
Yes, has made baseball better. I can't disagree with that.
I'm a purist, though. Does this make the game better?
Yes,
absolutely.
I just went on a rant of how terrible these referees are. We finally have a chance to replace these useless cats with the robots that actually do the job to 100% precision. Yes, it makes the game better. Infinitely better. I'm sick of seeing a strike. I'm sick of seeing pitches that's 6 inches high and 4 inches wide getting called a strike because the umpire's mad at the daggone batter. No. Yes, it's ABS challenges. Thank you. It's a heaven sent.
Absolutely.
All right. Major League Baseball playoffs start today. Yankees and Sox in the wild card. Should we be so lucky? What we got making it out of these first 3 days?
So I'm actually taking off. I have to see clients. I'm not working today at all because it's playoff time. So I got to be locked in. The Yankees. That's my girl. The only time you don't talk to me is during the Yankee playoffs. Like, I'm so excited. I'm not working today. I already canceled.
You and Dre, when it comes to the playoffs with the Yankees, crack me up because y'all get so excited to get let down every year, especially Dre. Oh, we going for championship 28, number 6 in my lifetime, and get disappointed every year.
Yeah. I gotta be realistic, but I don't know about the World Series. But to answer the question, who wins the brackets? Yankees beat the Red Sox, even though Crochet is special. That guy. I remember he was like last year, I'm not pitching anymore until you pay me.
Yeah.
I respected it because he was like, because if you say that, you have to back it up. And I'm thinking, he had one good year. What's he talking about? Nah, he's like that. He's one of those ones. The Yankees winning in game 3. And the Tigers have collapsed. Unless Scooby could pitch every game, I can't go with them. I'm going with the Gardeners in that AL.
Old Mo is a fickle man. And he has left the Tigers clubhouse. Yeah. I'm taking Cleveland in 3 because Schoolboy's going to pitch first game and then it'll be the Guardians the rest of the way. So give me Cleveland in 3. I think Padres and Cubs is going to be the best series, to be honest with you. If it were up to me, that'd be a pick 'em. And I'm going with the Padres just because they've been there before. But I think it'll be 3 games. Give me the Yankees in 3. And give me the Dodgers in 2. I think that's going to be the only sweep is the Dodgers. The Reds had no business making the playoffs. The Mets, Lord have mercy. Sean, go ahead. Talk your talk about Juan Soto. The floor is yours. I already know this is what you've been waiting on.
So never should be happy when someone fails, but I'm happy because that boy took that $800 million and went to the opposite side from the Bronx to Queens makes no sense. I don't mind owners being able to spend money because we could tell in baseball, we already know it doesn't equate to championships. But the way when he won out, he was like throwing shade at the Yankee ownership and the Yankee franchise, and we could have box seats. Do you rather be a legend as a Yankee or a legend as a Met? Just let that set in. A Yankee legend or a Mets legend. Like, and they went to the, didn't they go to, they won the LCS last year. And then you guys don't make the postseason this year. I am happy. Juan Soto is going to, again, Hall of Famer. He's going to have a great career. He might even win the World Series. But this year, if we had Juan Soto, we'll probably be going back to the World Series, even because we'll have the same formula we did last year. 2 really good pitchers and an offense with timing hit it. I am happy he did not make the postseason this year. That's it.
Now that Sean got that ran out the way, the Mets ought to be ashamed of themselves. When are we ever going to get some consistency in Queens?
I don't know.
When?
I don't know.
Like, no manager can fix their issue. And that's just the culture of the franchise at that point. It is.
Agreed.
It's ridiculous.
Not
They weren't the only disappointing. And they had the talent.
They have talent. Yeah.
Edwin Diaz kind of messed them over this year. I mean, they had to keep moving him in and out of the closer role. I just don't know where I went wrong with the Mets. But they're not the only disappointing team. Teams like the Giants and the Rangers got rid of their managers yesterday. The Orioles, I mean, Lord knows how much we've talked about how disappointing they are this year. And now we're getting the same old song of, no, we're going to go pay for some pitching this off season.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Believe it when I see it. Jordan Westberg led the team in home runs with 7. Not Westberg. I think the leader in home runs had 17 for the Orioles this year. Gunnar Henderson had like 16. What are we doing? Basayo gets the extension just for them to say Anthony Rushman is still going to be the everyday catcher and still part of the plans for the future. The Astros missing the playoffs. So shocking. Momentum from the Mariners this year was so insurmountable, and the AL East had 3 playoff teams. I'm not worried about the Astros. They'll be back. But I am concerned about the Giants and the Rangers, though. Big payrolls every year and still just don't get it done. I don't know. And I mean, Devers just ended up being the Red Sox won that tribute. So for this season, the Red Sox won that tribute. I
agree. Because
at some point, the Giants have to be a consistently good team. At some point, the Giants have to be a good team, period.
Again, yeah. Well, they're built to compete with the Dodgers, and just right now, they just do not.
But they don't. The Padres are the Dodgers' competition in that division. Precisely. And the Diamondbacks have been more relevant than the Giants the last 2 years.
Agreed.
Last 3 years.
Yeah. I agree with you, by the way. Padres and Dodgers win that. I didn't say my part. Wins the wild card rounds. Regarding the Giants job, I agree. I don't know why they're underachieving so poorly. Like, since that 107 win season, they've been underachieving bad. I just see that they might bring Bruce Bochy back as their manager. I wouldn't be surprised because his relationship with who's the president now? Oh, Buster Posey. I wouldn't be surprised if he still wants to coach, he still wants to manage. He has 4 World Series titles. I would bring him back to the Giants. The Rangers, sometimes they got Skip Schumacher already in the front office. I think he's going to be the prime candidate to come down and take over the job. We already talked about the Mets disappointment. The Astros, I don't get it. I don't think the starting pitching was as strong as it was over the past few years. Yeah. They didn't have a clear-cut ace. They got to figure that out if they want to get back to me in the Astros. But as a Yankee fan, I'm happy they didn't make it the postseason because we struggled against the Astros in the postseason. And it has nothing to do with the cheating title they have in 2017. And your Orioles, you guys said it all. Too much talent to me to not make the postseason, only be it in the conversation in the postseason.
And they had a very good second half, though. I will give you that. Like, bring Mansolino back. Bring him back. Bring him back. Change the rest of the coaching staff. They'll get a new hitting coach, get a new farm system director, get a new pitching coach. Like, you tell Mansolino you can stay, but you're not keeping your old coworkers.
But honestly, I know he probably doesn't last for a long time as a manager because he's really strict. But I like Buck Showalter. I think he should be a candidate for one of these jobs.
If the Orioles brought Buck back, I wouldn't be mad because Buck will play the lineup that needs to be played, which is Gunnar Henderson at third, Jackson Holiday at short, Westberg at second, and the young guys are going to play every day. Mountcastle would get traded. Mayo would be at first, or Basayo, one of them, and the other one would be DHing. Rutschman catching every day with Cowser and Kerstead in the outfield and figure out what's going on in left. But Elias loves Tyler O'Neill, so I guess we're stuck with him. I wouldn't mind Buck. I would say that right now.
Yeah, I think Buck is a candidate. If I was someone like the Rangers, again, he's just a little bit strict and a little old school. He's not like a laid back manager, old school manager like Dusty Baker or Bruce Bochy. So it comes with a little a different type of leadership. But I like him. I always like Buck as a manager.
But there are no alphas in the locker room anymore. You don't have a Manny Machado, prima donna in there. So it's a different culture. It may work.
Yeah, agree.
We didn't get your playoff predictions. That's my fault. So who you got winning these wild card series?
So let me take a look at it again. So no problem. I've got the Guardians beating the Tigers. I like the Padres over the Cubs. Red Sox, Yankees. I think momentum right now is with the Red Sox. And I'm a Dodgers guy. So as you said, Cincinnati really shouldn't be in this playoffs. But you can't deny Ohtani. I just think he's the best player in baseball for a reason. And until proven otherwise, I've got them as a surefire World Series team.
Absolutely. All right. This time the headlines are actually for real. Zion Williamson has really lost some weight. What are we looking forward to from him this season?
Staying healthy. All of the weight loss in the world doesn't matter if you're not on the court. I want to see it translate into 70 games at least and get back to your all-star caliber talent. I mean, you've got the talent. Now, how much the weight loss will impact his game, because, again, his game was power and rebounding. So the jury's out. I hope he doesn't try and go too finesse, because then you become a role player.
I'm one of those people who I got to see it before I believe it. Kind of agree with you. We got to see him being healthy for at least 65 games to make the minimum to make an all NBA team. But the only thing with Zion is this, and I really believe in like culture. We were talking about Russell Wilson, things of that nature. Is he the guy? Same with Joel Embiid. Do I want that personality or that? Because obviously, for the first 6 years of your career, 7 years, whatever it is, eating more, being on shape, chasing porn stars was more important than being the leader of a franchise. I cannot trust you as my leader of my franchise. I'm trading Zion Williamson. If I have to put a clause, I'll use this example. That's why I was off the Kyler Murray train years ago. When I heard about that clause that you had to get paid extra or a certain percentage to study, I'm like, oh, no, I don't know if I can let that guy be the leader of my franchise. Same with Zion. We're putting clauses in for you to be a certain weight, to do this, to basically stop eating. I can't trust in you as being my leader. So with Zion, I would have been moved on from him if I was in New Orleans. But they got Troy Weaver and Joe Dumars' new regime. Maybe they think they're going to be able to change his mentality.
Dumars said he ain't having it.
I hope so. They need someone. Griffin was soft on them, but they need someone. Pause with that. They need Griffin. They need someone who is going to hold him accountable. That's my Zion rant. I would have been traded him.
Man, Zion. I was going to have positive things to say about you, but yeah, Sean, you broke that down. That's bad. I think the key for him to stay healthy, stop just trying to jump super high and dunk over everybody. Like, be smart with how you go to the rim. Develop a jump shot. Save your knees. Like, that's why D Rose ACL went out. He kept trying to jump over everybody in the world. Mm-hmm. Be smart with when you use that God-given athleticism. Develop a perimeter game so your interior game isn't all your game is predicated on. That's when you start getting hurt, especially at the weight that Zion Williamson was at. For anybody, that's just not good on your knees. But that's I need to see it, right? So I like the Pelicans, Josh. I like Herb Jones. I like Trey Murphy. I don't think they have a true perimeter scorer. I will say that. Love DeJounte Murray. We know Zion can be good. I like Eves Missy, but
like Hawkinson. They have some good
Bud
players.
Ingram's
Hawkins,
still there?
yeah. No, Ingram's
Is
in
Ingram
Toronto
still there?
now.
He's in
Um,
Toronto now.
Ingram's in
so
Toronto.
like
That's right.
they got a team to be competitive in the West, but I feel like Zion Williams is just going to be one of them letdowns, man.
Well,
At best, he's Blake Griffin in his prime. At worst, he's Hakeem Warwick or Stromile Swift.
Stromile used to dunk the hell out the basketball. Lord, like he just angry at the rim. Last one, old Al Horford going to Golden State. So they're keeping their spacing alive. Still a small team.
That's an old team, man. That's a
old.
really old team. They're going for a 1 or 2 more year run, but that team
Average
It's
age,
over with. They need to
they're
accept that it's done.
37 and a half or something like that. Veterans, championship pedigree. I suspect they're going to play like the Spurs, load management kind of. That's where it started, right? When they were old in their aging years. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of that, DMPs during the course of the season just because coach's decision. Talent can't deny, though. I think they still are serviceable. Steph still got enough in the bag, and Horford he brings just enough.
Time out, You said talent. Name the talent on a Golden State roster.
Well, the 5. I mean, Horford, Draymond, Steph, Jimmy Butler. I mean, are we denying their resumes?
That ain't talent. You give them credit off for what they have done, not who they are. Pajemski ain't talent.
Present day, they aren't
Kuminga
useful at talent, but they're talent.
No. Horford ain't scaring nobody. Draymond ain't scaring nobody. And Jimmy ain't scaring nobody in the regular season. Pajemski ain't scaring nobody. Gary Payton II ain't scaring nobody. Like, hey, Kuminga, go ahead and shoot all the jumpers you want. If packing the paint on you, you're useless. Like, ain't no talent in Golden State. That is
nah. I disagree with this. Horford, if he played, they didn't low manage him. He is still one of the best defenders. You could switch people. You could switch Horford out on Steph, and he could stay in front of him on an SGA. He won't get. No, I'm dead serious. He won't go crazy. He won't go crazy. Horford, I watched the Celtics
He still plays valuable defense. Yeah,
valuable defense. Yeah, he could play Giannis. He's a really good defender still at his age.
Horford is 5 feet with Stephen Curry.
Yes, he can. Trust me, he's not going to. I watched so many Celtics games. They was constantly switch him, and he can hit the three.
Steph win Finals MVP off the torching Al Horford in the pick and roll.
Torching Al Horford or Marcus Smart?
Horford.
All right, well, then they shouldn't have been switching. Because wasn't Marcus Smart the All Defensive Player of the year that year? Yeah, he was.
Then Malcolm Brogdon that year, I think.
Yeah, there was deep. Like that's bad coaching.
No. You just said Al Horford can guard him though. That's what you just said.
He's not gonna get torched. Like he can stay in front of him. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Steph is gonna get Steph. Steph's gonna you acting like he's Jokic. Al Horford's a better defender than Jokic.
That don't mean he can guard Steph though.
I'm not saying he can guard. He could stay in front of him. If I say guard, take it back. I mean he can stay in front of him.
Stay in front of somebody mean if you ain't stopping them from scoring though? That's probably the NBA now. That's probably no defense because we don't make sense about defense.
That I was going to say, besides OKC, name any team to actually have guys who can stay in front of their players for most of the time.
The issue is we keep doing all this damn switching in the pick and roll. Fight through the screen.
I agree.
Do the work early before the screen even comes. Communicate to your teammates where the screen's coming from.
That's why OKC is the best team. I see them actually fight through screens, actually take pride in playing defense.
They're
old school defense.
They're playing. They proved that Shaq ain't been up there just talking on inside the NBA for the past 6 years. No, fight through the damn screen.
And another, Draymond had a really good year defensively. Steph was still Steph.
Jimmy was he's healthy, I think Draymond's still a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Now, will he win it? Not likely, but that's a populist decision. But I think he's still in the conversation at this point, even at this point in his career, because he's smart. he plays basketball comparable to Dennis Rodman. His picture of the defense is different.
So are y'all telling me the Warriors are Al Horford away from not losing in 5 games to the Timberwolves like they did last year? That's y'all telling me.
There's Steph Curry injury now. They would have either gone 7 or won that series.
Agreed.
With this team right now, can they beat the Rockets?
No.
Can they beat the Thunder?
No.
Can they beat the Nuggets?
No.
It's over with. Can they beat the Clippers? Can they beat the Clippers?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Definitely. You trust James Harden in the postseason? That's going to 7 games. James Harden's going to play a lot of minutes. You trust James Harden in the postseason?
I trust the rest of that team.
No. I didn't ask you. You trust James Harden in the postseason?
Oh, you know I don't trust James Harden in the postseason.
Okay. All right. So automatically, we saw what he did in Game 7 against Denver. They're better than Denver.
They couldn't beat Denver.
Yeah, exactly. So we already seen that. So I'm not trusting James Harden. And the Lakers.
Golden State ain't Denver though. That's my thing.
The Lakers, I think they could beat Minnesota healthy. This is all health dependent. And then the Lakers, I think that would be a tough series for the Lakers. Defensively, the Lakers might struggle because who's guarding Steph?
Hold on. They could beat. You know what? I'll take a step back and say they could beat Minnesota. Their days with the Lakers are done. The Lakers have owned the Warriors in recent years, and it's only going to get worse. The Warriors ain't stopping Luka and LeBron. They're not. Okay. They're way too small to even have the interior presence to do something.
Yeah, I think size would be.
And now Ayton's there also, and then offensively, they're just Steph. That's it. Nah, man.
Whoa, hold on.
Wow,
Draymond and Horford could bully Ayton. Ayton's soft until others.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But Draymond and Ayton ain't got nothing for Luka and LeBron.
No. Luka, if Luka looks the way he did in Euro basketball,
has good games against the Warriors. Matter of fact, and then they wind up putting Steph on Reeves, and Reeves be getting a little busy with Steph. Like the Warriors just don't match up with the Lakers anymore.
Okay, I take that back. I agree with you guys. They're the 5th best team. I'll put the Lakers, but that's the key for the Lakers. If Luka is coming into shape,
they can't beat the Mavericks. They can't beat a healthy Mavericks team either.
I haven't put the Mavericks because I have to see the Mavericks play together. I can't lie. I have to see. I love Cooper, but I got to see Kyrie, Cooper, all those guys. But if the Mavericks are healthy,
AD's the only answer to that question, Sean.
All right, if they're healthy, the Mavericks are better than the Lakers and Warriors. I'm saying this. They're better than I put them in they're just below that top 3 tier, but they're in the 2nd tier, I think. But they're healthy. They're in that tier with Denver and OKC and Houston. I think that good, healthy wise, and Cooper lives up to the hype.
And I'll be honest with you, coming up soon, we're going to be talking about the Spurs over the Warriors real soon. Real soon.
Yeah, I think you're diminishing the Warriors like that.
I'm not. They're cooked, Sean. They're cooked.
I
know it's hard to say goodbye to the dynasty. I know. And trust me, I appreciate what the Warriors did. I really do. Love that. He's top 5 point guard ever. Warriors, top 3 dynasty in NBA, top 5 dynasty in NBA history. All that good jazz. It's coming to an end. Where New England was in 2020, Golden State is there right now. We just don't want to accept it because we still love Steph so much, but they're done.
Okay, let's see. I think they're going to be a top 5, top 16 in the West.
It may surprise you.
Yeah.
Sean, who you like this weekend?
You have to go. I haven't checked any of the bets this week, to be honest with you.
All right, I went 4-1 in the NFL last week. That's where my success has been, so that's where I'm starting. Minnesota money line at Cleveland. Philly 4.5 against Denver. Dallas 2.5 at the Jets. They're going to cover that so easily. The Colts by a touchdown against the Raiders. And they keep giving these low point totals for Tampa Bay. I had Tampa and Philly over 43.5 last week. Super easy. I'm going to go with the Bucks again. Tampa at Seattle over 44.5. College.
That Seattle defense is top 2, top 3 in the league right now. That defense is nice.
44.5 can be done. That game could easily be 24-21. I think that's probably going to be the score. And then college, I'm just trying to get back on the right track, fellas. I am. So going San Diego State 5.5 against Colorado State. Illinois is getting 9.5 at Purdue. UNLV's money line at Wyoming, Miami money line at Florida State, Duke money line at Cal. Need some good fortune this week in college. It's not been going good. I've been losing the subscribers' money. It ain't working out. They're not happy with me. So that's where I'm at.
I like your college picks a lot, actually.
All right.
I just need Florida State to beat Miami for bragging rights and to get the wheels back on the track.
I think that Virginia loss was because of you, not because of your Florida State Seminoles. The ACC might be a one-bid league in the playoff this year. As a matter of fact, the ACC needs Florida State to win this weekend. So expect all close calls to go to Seminoles' way when it comes to officiating. So
won't be surprised.
That's all I got this week. Fellas, anything else?
No, that's it.
Good to go. Shout out to Team Church and my son Wilden. They got rained out last week, but the forecast is low 70s this week, so he'll be back on the pitch, and looking forward to that.
There we go. All right, we'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Peace.